Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. I'm reading The Wheel of Time for the first time and sharing the experience with you. This is One Good Turn, The Eye of the World, and today I'm covering Chapter 16. We get a very brave Rand this chapter, a sweet moment with him and Nynaeve. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some rocky relationship stuff between Rand and Egwene until Rand and Nynaeve becomes a thing. That's my prediction there. But it starts with them going into the inn, and as the group is walking toward where they know Nynaeve and Moraine to be, Min immediately pulls Rand aside, and everyone else is like, "What, Rand, come on, we've got to go do this thing. There's no time for any of that." But Min insists on speaking with Rand, and she basically she warns him rather. "A woman arrived a little while ago, shorter than I, young, with dark eyes and dark hair and a braid down to her waist. She's part of it, right along with the rest of you. The Sparks, Rand. She met Mistress Alice coming in, and there were Sparks with just the two of them. Yesterday I couldn't see Sparks without at least 3 or 4 of you together, but today it's all sharper and more furious. It's almost a wonder the inn doesn't catch fire. You're all in more danger today than yesterday since she came." Clearly Nynaeve has much power, I think. A big part of the story she will be involved in. But a big part of me was wondering, is it that they're in danger because Nynaeve has arrived? Or is it because of stupid Rand telling Fane where they're staying and how long they are staying for? Because the danger doesn't necessarily have to come from Nynaeve, I think. It could just be an they're in danger type thing, and it just happens to be that Nynaeve came. Anyway, Rand is confident that Nynaeve won't do anything to hurt them, so despite Min's protests, they continue on into the room. And it's... you know those scenes you sometimes get in sitcoms and the like, or dramas sometimes, where the teenager stays out for too long, way past curfew, and they're trying to sneak into the room. They turn on the light, and there are the parents just sitting there calmly but intensely. It felt a little bit like that. We've got Nynaeve and we've got Moraine sitting at opposite ends of the table, staring at each other, not really saying anything, and Lan off to the side. I think he's like looking into the fireplace or something like that. Everyone's looking around uncomfortably. Rand thinks to himself the Perrin is right, or was right. Outside, it was warm, but you step in here and suddenly everything is ice cold. Rand thinks to himself, sometimes you have to grab the wolf by the ears, but then reminds himself of a counter proverb, or counter saying rather, when you have a wolf by the ears, it's as hard to let go as it is to hold on. And he very bravely, amongst everyone else there, walks right up to the table and sits right in the middle between the two of them. Then everyone else, slowly and reluctantly, goes and joins the table. So we're in here for a good conversation. Lan offers Nynaeve a drink. She has been hesitant to drink because she has suspected poison, so she's very, very mistrustful. And essentially, Nynaeve had been following them. So that explains in no small part her ability to catch up to them so fast, is that she was specifically following them. And partially in response to my question of how Fane could have possibly gotten to Baerlon so quickly, Nynaeve does say, "You certainly cut back and forth enough." But I'll read through the whole exchange. "There was nowhere for you to go except Baerlon. To be safe, though, I followed your trail. You certainly cut back and forth enough, but then I suppose you would not care to risk meeting decent people." "You followed our trail?" Lan said, truly surprised for the first time that Rand could remember. "I must be getting careless." "You left very little trace, but I can track as well as any man in the 2 rivers, except perhaps Tam Althor. Until my father died, he took me hunting with him and taught me what he would have taught the sons he never had. She looked at Lan challengingly, but he only nodded with approval. So there's an interesting little dynamic there, in the sense that my first read through, I thought Lan's comment, "I must be getting careless," was arrogant in the direction of his own skill rather than arrogant in the direction of sexism. Like, my interpretation wasn't his inner monologue being something to the effect of, "I can't believe this girl traced me." Anyway, but then Nynaeve goes on and talks about the skills, and this is important to note that I think establishing this element of her skill set will come back in many ways in the future with her. But I also kind of felt like her response was with the interpretation that Lan did mean it in a more sexist way than I had interpreted. And I'm very curious to hear what Kitty would have thought of in her first read through that interaction. But Lan goes on and nods with approval and says, "If you can follow a trail I have tried to hide, he taught you well. If you can do that, even in the borderlands." Which again supports my supposition that it came from a place of confidence, not arrogance, confidence. Nynaeve has indeed come to take them back to the village, and she freely throws around the word Aes Sedai, at which point, well, I'll read the exchange. "The only facts I can see are that 4 young people have been carried off, for the light alone knows what reason, by an Aes Sedai." "You have been told that isn't known here. You must learn to guard your tongue." "Why should I? Why should I help hide you or what you are? I've come to take Egwene and the boys back to Emond's Field, not help you spirit them away." I think, yeah, good freaking luck getting Egwene back to the 2 rivers. More than the boys, even. Tom comes in, and he's more aggressive than I would have expected. And I find that very interesting. I want to know... He rubs it off a little bit later as, well, I'm involved with you guys too, so it's dangerous to me, but I feel like there's something more to it. But he says, "If you want them to see their village again, or you, either, you had better be more careful. There are those in Bear Lawn who would kill her, for what she is, him too." He indicated Lan, then abruptly moved forward to put his fists on the table. He loomed over Nynaeve, and his long mustaches and thick eyebrows suddenly seemed threatening. So that's very, very curious to me. He rubs it off later as having arrived with them. "It's known I arrived with you too. I don't care for the thought of a questioner with a hot iron telling me to repent my sins and walk in the light." As he's trying to intimidate her throughout this, he also says, "All they go after with their hot irons and pincers is a confession." And I think that comes very specifically after the last chapter with Min's visions, because didn't Min talk about hot irons in what she saw around them? So whomever it was she saw them, I think it was Rand, suggests to me that they might be captured by White Cloaks at some point and tortured. Which, oh no. So I'm kind of expecting that, and later I'll go back and look specifically for who she saw that over. So Nynaeve says, "That is just one more reason for them to come home with me in the morning, or this afternoon for that matter. The sooner we're away from you and on our way back to Emond's Field, the better." "We can't," Rand said, and was glad that his friends all spoke up at the same time. So that's good to know. And it seriously brings into question how much Nynaeve believes of what she's been told. Clearly not much. I want to know if it has been explicitly stated to her that the Trollocs are after them. But Rand goes on, and it's very brave of him to look directly at the wisdom. I guess Nynaeve really is scary to them. "If we go back to Emond's Field, the Trollocs will come back too. They're hunting us. I don't know why, but they are. Maybe we can find out why in Tar Valon. Maybe we can find out how to stop it. It's the only way." I know now, at least, because I don't think we knew before, but I'm so glad it is finally explicitly stated to her on no uncertain terms. At this point, Nynaeve brings up Tam, who mentions that there was a town meeting to best discuss how to get all of the boys back. Matt asks about his dad. Perrin asks about Master Luhan. Egwene mentions that she left a note explaining where she was going. It's all very sweet and sad at the same time. These are still young boys, and the parents are worried about their kids. And then I imagined this series from the adults' perspective. Like, what if we were reading their stuff and the book was just a D&D party of parents going to find their children? Could be interesting. Moraine tries to insist that they are safer with her than anyone else. Nynaeve doesn't believe it, especially because of the White Cloaks. And Moraine says, "There are many dangers from which I cannot protect them, any more than you can protect them from being struck by lightning if they go home. But it is not lightning of which they must be afraid, nor even White Cloaks. It is the Dark One and minions of the Dark One. From those things I can protect. Touching the true source, touching Saidar, gives me that protection, as it does to every Aes Sedai. Even those poor men who find themselves wielding the power for a short time gain that much, though sometimes touching Saidin protects, and sometimes the taint makes them more vulnerable. But I or any Aes Sedai can extend my protection to those close by me. No Fade can harm them as long as they are close to me, as they are right now. No Trolloc can come within a quarter mile without Lan knowing it, feeling the evil of it. Can you offer them half as much if they return to Emond's Field with you?" Nynaeve bites back. "You stand up straw men. We have a saying in the Two Rivers, whether the bear beats the wolf or the wolf beats the bear, the rabbit always loses." I like Nynaeve a lot in this chapter. She's been abrasive in the past. I remember her needlessly embarrassing Rand at one point, but it really, I think, shines through in this chapter how much she cares about them, about the group. And as much as from a meta perspective, I do pretty much trust Moraine, she has still threatened them. And she does have to contend with the Aes Sedai's reputation. So, yeah, big points to Nynaeve in this chapter. Moraine orders Egwene to take all of the boys out. And of course, there's that part of me that thinks, why is she in charge? Oh, yeah, and that totally reminds me. The big thing with Egwene is she's keeping her hood up as if she doesn't want to show Nynaeve that she has unbraided her hair. And I'm reading that, and me being very frustrated with Egwene of late, am thinking, how dare you hide that? You want to go off and be an Aes Sedai and do other things? Own it. If you are going to own it, freaking own it. The group heads out. Rand is ruminating on how Nynaeve could possibly be a part of all of this. He's wondering what they are saying in there. And then we get a really, really sweet scene between Rand and Nynaeve after Nynaeve comes out. She turned toward Rand, and for the first time he realized the others had all quietly disappeared. He did not want to face the wisdom alone, but he could not get away now that he had met Nynaeve's eye. A particularly searching eye, he thought, puzzled. What did they say? He drew himself up as she came closer. She indicated Tam's sword. That seems to fit you now, though I would like it better if it did not. You've grown, Rand. In a week? He laughed, but it sounded forced, and she shook her head as if he did not understand. Did she convince you? He asked. It really is the only way. He paused, thinking of Min Sparks. Are you coming with us? It's noteworthy that she points to Tam's sword, considering what will come up a little bit later. Nynaeve doesn't particularly want to go with. She says she had to go get someone from Devon Ride to take care of the town while she's away. And she's still hoping to make them see sense and get them back home. Rand insists that he has to stay away, that they can't go back, to which Nynaeve says, You told me that, and she did too. If she wasn't mixed up in it, Aes Sedai are not to be trusted, Rand. You sound as if you really do believe us. What happened at the village meeting? Essentially, she characterizes the meeting as a shamble, and she doesn't want to indicate to Moraine that it was, that they can't handle their business or whatever. So eventually, Nynaeve just took it upon herself to go. She let the women's circle know and left a note for the male counselors and just took off. She says, "And I believe only one thing. You are all in danger as long as you are with her." "Something happened," he insisted. "Why do you want us to go back if you think there's even a chance we are right? And why you at all?" Nynaeve responds, "You have grown." She smiled, and for a moment her amusement had him shifting his feet. "I can think of a time when you would not have questioned where I chose to go or what I chose to do, wherever or whatever it was. A time just a week ago." And that line, combined with a line later where I guess she puts her hands on his face, is what makes me think that the two of them will get together at some point. Rand asks, "What did she say to you in there?" "More of the same, and she wanted to know about you boys, to see if she could reason out why you have attracted the kind of attention you have. She said. She tried to disguise it, but most of all she wanted to know if any of you was born outside the two rivers." And that, I read that and I think, will that be evidence of the dragon reborn? And it plays into Rand's disconcertion regarding Tam's revelation, which comes bubbling up to the forefront of his mind. And even more surprisingly is he thinks, she knows. If she knows it was no fever dream. Oh, Light, help me, Father. "Are you all right?" Nynaeve asked. "He said I wasn't his son. When he was delirious with the fever, he said he found me. I thought it was just..." His throat began to burn and he had to stop. "Oh, Rand." She stopped and took his face in both hands. She had to reach up to do it. So, yeah, that's her touching the hands, and the fact that Nynaeve is the first person that he opened up to about this. He didn't tell Egwene, he didn't tell Mat or Perrin. It's sweet, and in some ways it's romantic as well. Nynaeve continues, "People say strange things in a fever. Twisted things. Things that are not true or real. Listen to me. Tam Althor ran away seeking adventure when he was a boy no older than you. I can just remember when he came back to Emond's Field, a grown man with a red-haired Outlander wife and a babe in swaddling clothes. I remember Kari Althor cradling that child in her arms with as much love and delight taken as I have ever seen from any woman with a babe. Her child, Rand. You. Now you straighten up and stop this foolishness." She says that she did not tell this to Moraine. It's not Outlander business, which I support. Don't tell her until they know specifically why she needs to know. Earn some trust that way. Moraine really needs to ask questions. The boys need to start asking questions. More than anything, it's that. The boys need to start asking. The immediate direness of being chased by Trollocs is done. So take the time to ask. Rand is curious if the others were born outside, but then says not to answer that. They don't know if it would make a bit of difference. And then the chapter ends on a somewhat cute exchange. "It might not mean anything. She could just be searching blindly for a reason. Any reason why those things are after you. After all of you." Rand managed a grin. "Then you do believe they're chasing us?" Nynaeve shook her head wryly. "You've certainly learned how to twist words since you met her. What are you going to do?" She studied him. He met her eyes steadily. "Today, I am going to have a bath. For the rest, we will have to see, won't we?" And the chapter ends. Very sweet scene there at the end. I liked it quite a lot. Loved the tension. Loved Rand being the first to go sit at the table. I think that's all I got for now. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.